between them. The point I'm bringing up is, I wonder in all of this, most insurance companies have provisions for the delivery of telehealth services. Could there be a mechanism where you're using that as your kind of, okay, I can't get fully credentialed on these plans, but maybe I could use the delivery of telehealth services to acquire initial patients, and even kind of after-hour red-eye types of things where I could actually, if I needed to, go see that patient with mobile devices in their house, those sorts of things, in order to get on panels. Have you ever thought about that? It's just, I mean, it just came out of, like, while you're talking about it, like, that seems like it might be a valid prospect. Any thoughts of it?
It brings up an interesting point, because we actually, because this market has now grown, we have had individuals kind of reach out to us about having our cold starts, which always need to associate at another place. You cannot spend 5 days in your practice as a cold start and expect to see, a full schedule of patients. It's just not possible. So you have to associate 2.5 days somewhere else, and it's a requirement sometimes for the lender, depending on which lender you're doing, but most of the time it is. So we have had individuals that have contacted us about, possibly looking into working for a company that provides those telehealth services. They already have this in place, but they don't accept a lot of insurances. And I think you kind of know what I'm talking about in serving underserved areas and kind of doing things from home. The problem we have with the model that you just suggested is that, our cold start clients are a pretty unknown quantity. It's very difficult for patients to be able to find them on Google when they don't have a presence within the community itself quite yet. It does take a while to organically move up that list. I think they would have to be able to do it in some way where they're working for an individual that's already connected within that network, which becomes a little bit, more difficult. One of the main reasons we want, our cold starts being available 24 hours a day to attract that emergency care is because a lot of those practitioners and a lot of the older practitioners and a lot of those private equity firms don't really care about the 24-hour emergency care, where we can step in and save the day. And so we do want to have that access. But as far as telehealth goes, we do incorporate that, certainly into, our practices now because of what happened with COVID. It's a good example of what you were talking about in terms of the switch, and what I was talking about earlier as far as piggybacking on what you were saying and what Eric was saying with construction costs. I mean, it's insanity. I mean, I source the equipment, and the cool thing about us is, you already know this, we don't take any kickbacks from any of these vendors. So there's nobody paying a premium or a gift card or anything to us or a point. We can pivot and move as quickly as possible. And so when we have a trusted vendor, we can go ahead and source this equipment and know it's going to be there when they open. They don't have another lane. That is their lane. That is the lane. So it can't be on a shipping container in a port somewhere on the West Coast because the supply chain issue is hung up. We got to make sure that gets delivered. And like Eric likes to say, clients don't know what they don't know. So it's sometimes good to protect them from that, to let them know that, their chair and stand may be at risk of not being delivered in time, but it's a real thing. And so COVID presented a lot of issues. One, we switched to almost exclusively digital for doctors to get 6 feet away from our patients. They dropped the price tremendously, so it gave our doctors a tremendous amount of street credit because they now have this incredible technology in their practice. And so we've moved our recommendations from one to the next as the times have changed and as prices have actually been able to be stable for our cold start clients. So we worked out deals where, listen, our bank approvals necessitate that their equipment budget is X. They need to stay within X, and we will continue to deliver these cold start clients to you, but you have to hold the pricing. You can't give us a 30% increase. The difference is they don't open. Then you don't sell any equipment. And so it's been an interesting adventure just over the last couple of years, particularly with shipping and where these things are being made. So American-made products are becoming more important, and just being in tune with supply chain. And Eric does a great job, on the lending side and all the different regulations that have changed. And we all have kind of our own area of expertise. Insurance is another example that's changed quite a bit. Rebates have changed, reimbursements, opt-in, opt-out states have always changed. You're constantly in a state of flux. It's unreal.